Hi, Ben. Thanks so much for joining us. What a day.
Yeah, this is very stressful.
Yeah, I heard that call out. Ziz, what have you done? That was very fun for me.
Yeah, it's wild. I'm not on the best sleep, which doesn't help, but like the bosses are. I think Maven is just one of those things where it's already kind of chaotic on its own, and then when you add in a little bit of extra chaos, it really just spirals. Like Cyrus felt fine.
Yeah, at least I was shocked that you went into Cyrus first because I figured that was one of the hardest things, but you made it look easy.
Yeah, Cyrus is just one of those bosses where if you have enough damage and he dies before like the third maze, there's not any degen yet, and it's kind of chill.
Yeah, your damage is incredible, and the boot tech is very cool.
Yeah, it's they're I hate these boots. Like they're so powerful and they're so annoying to use. But
Yeah.
like, the numbers speak for themselves.
So now that you're a little bit into it, do you think you're going to full clear?
No. I think the odds of killing Uber is like 10% at best. Like that's not happening. It's like I guess I have a lot of spell block and like maybe that's good enough, but I don't know if you watched the normal Uber, but like it's just there's you can't see anything. There's ads everywhere. Like it's I
Yeah,
don't think it's possible.
damn. So, is it harder than you thought, or is it because that you don't have a eternal damnation?
Yeah, this build's just not good enough. Like Damnation Pathfinder would like smoke these bosses. I don't think it'd be very like that challenging with that build if you had it set
Yeah.
up properly. But getting Damnation, I think would have required making a second character like a proper like Sanctum only like SRS character or something.
So, sir, I saw you were doing a lot of Eater and Exarch testing. What are you more afraid of there?
I think Eater is going to be harder. It's like Tentacles one shot, Auto attacks one shot, and it's just a little spookier. I think like even when they're retracting, like even with Defiance, they still kill me instantly if I step on them because no attack block, no evasion. It just doesn't really work out too well. Whereas Exarch, if you kill the dog instantly, it should be pretty easy because its ear not going to spawn like during the ball phase if the dog's dead.
Yeah, we were seeing you had insane damage there and just dunking on them. So that was fun to see. Do you think have you been like how's the damage on your test character compared to your real character?
Yeah, it depends on the fight. So right now in standard, I'm testing them with the boss damage haste mod rolled, which means I have to drop damage for life to like make it still optimal.
Yeah.
And once I do that, the character becomes weaker than it should be. Like my real character, with all the mods factored in, assuming I have full uptime, probably does about 25% more damage. But that's based on wither stacks, which are only there during full uptime.
Ah, interesting. And Cortex, do you have a lot of Cortexes ready to go in case you get bad mods?
I think I have like four, but I mean, for witnessing base cortex, I don't know what mods would have to be there for me to leave. It's just one dude.
Yeah. And are you most likely going to sleep then before going for the next run?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm already 10 hours deep. I only got 5 hours
Yeah,
last night, so I'm gonna run to the store, get some food, eat
that's so
properly, and
smart.
try to get 8 hours. I think knowing that Jung was going into bossing while I was asleep probably contributed toward me being unable to get good sleep.
Oh, very cool.
A
Got
bit
pushed
of
a little
PvP
bit.
there, huh?
Bit of PvP. Very cool. Yeah, how do
A
you
little
feel
bit.
about Jung's bossing run? It was very fun watching him do the bosses. It looked very smooth.
Yeah, I mean, I think that build would have been excellent if he could use base play trap instead of transfigured, but
Mm.
that requirement really restricts the offensive capabilities of it, which I think make Exarch and Feared borderline impossible for that build. But I think everything else there was a pretty reasonable chance of him killing it.
Cool. And you did mention that you'd slept quite a lot. You want to talk a little bit like how do you feel about like sleep in the gauntlet versus like, especially in a lot of the software races, where do people see like 40-hour plus sessions? Is that different for you in the gauntlet?
Well, for this gauntlet, I mean, from the start, I haven't really been treating this as like a race with like time pressure because I'm assuming no one's going to clear, so it's just about like getting as far as you can in 10 days. So
Yeah,
I've been trying to get 8 hours every night. But
nice.
sometimes you just can't. You wake up after 5, after 6, and you can't fall asleep, so you just
Yeah,
grind.
nice. Awesome. Steele, any questions?
Nah, just well played, Mr. Benjamin. An impressive performance as always, and best of luck with your run tomorrow. I kind of hope you do clear the Uber Elder just by sheer luck. Just spell block everything.
Yeah.
Would be cool.
Yeah, The problem I keep running into in standard is there's just too much degen. I can't kill squids in last phase because my build uses these cringe boots. So like you just even if you sell like everything, you're still gonna die to degens.
Do you think you just gotta like play dumb and just face tank a little bit more, just to give yourself a shot at killing it, or?
I will not dodge a single shaper ball in last phase. I will just sit there and tank them.
Wow.
Let Jesus take the wheel.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, good luck, and hope you get some good sleep and have an amazing performance by the time we're casting tomorrow.
Yeah, we shall see. Thank you very much. See you.
Awesome. Bye. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us for an interview. You are the current rank 1 in the Gauntlet, and depending on what happens today, you might have won the Gauntlet. How do you feel right now?
I mean, in that context, I think it's pretty likely we'll probably see like my guess is that 6 people will be pushing around 200. When I was looking at the ladder earlier today, but I mean, I think the beauty of a gun like this one is like it's not really a competition between people. You're just like choosing a point at which you like going in. You don't really care about what anyone else is doing. Felt alright.
So how do you feel about all the Gauntlet mods now that it's well, I'm guessing it is over for you. I don't think that's too presumptuous of me.
I mean, I think mods are okay. I probably won't go yet. I'm not really sure. I mean, there's like one thing that has. I basically have the full Pathfinder POB set up right now in gear.
Ooh. Wow.
And that thing was able to clear. Like, if I had to guess, I actually I don't know. I think the trickster damage is something else, but I think that build's like maybe like 20-30% stronger than trickster, but I don't know. The mods weren't that hard. I felt like everything was like fine. Things were the thing about GMP like is it's pretty much like just cannibals and things that are like cannibals, right? Like exile cannibals and stuff. So I just like felt like there wasn't actually that much that was super threatening. I don't think my trickster fell below like 85% health, and I had no real defense on that besides like just baseline auras, right?
It was crazy watching you do Maven. That was like so fun to watch Eater as well, but like Maven was just I was so stressed, and I didn't actually know where you died, so I didn't know if you completed the Maven or died, and I was shocked. It was so cool.
It actually not died there. I think I actually take 2 balls, so a lot of people were saying that you can't like get shotgunned by Maven normally, right? But I think that's actually a hitbox thing where Maven has like the ball is the size of the ball, but the hitbox of the ball is like a tiny little dot in the middle. But I think with like NKOE, it's like really easy to get hit by 2 balls.
Yeah.
So I got hit by 2 balls with IC down without Frost Shield. Which is like an absurd amount of damage to be taking. But I think it's just Just
how did you like the Aziri?
Pain. It's a pain, man. The bleed, dude. The bleed is so fucking bad for trickster, right? Cause
the leash shade, right?
Yeah, it's never there. And then I'm like thinking, I think like mentally this whole set of rules is really interesting because like I wouldn't really care in a sense if it was Jesus Christ. Yeah, that would have killed me if I was on cremation. The 3 portal rule alongside bleed is really weird because I can't just like I was gonna just log out every bad instance that I'm like, oh, I'm taking the bleed and like touch the Maven degen, and I was halfway through last fight right for Maven. But I think that just the mod list makes me think really differently about every fight, and because of that, I think mechanically there's things I would do with the 3 portal rule, with the bleed applying, with 1 or 2 different tags that I would just never actually do in a 6 portal content.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, it's been very fun to watch. I definitely think this has been the best spectator gauntlet. Is it something that ranks highly for you as a racer?
Oh, I mean, I like being a spectator too. It's just hard to this gauntlet to be a spectator because for me, because like generally speaking, there's a lot of XD chatters,
Ben said.
It's not even like I guess even in other chats, it's like kind of it's like weird as well. Like I guess I was watching Rax's stream this morning, like when I first woke up, and people like ask him like, oh, like do you know what Jung's playing, or like what like have you seen this from Jung? And it's like really makes me want to like slam my head through a desk in game if there's desks in game because it's just like. I like the idea of Gauntlet being a journey, right? Like you're talking about just now, like Gauntlet having to be like something you progress through in hardcore. And I think watching people go through that part of the journey is fun. seeing that just get really tainted with like, oh, did you see this? Ben said, Jung
Yeah.
did this. It's just like I don't think it's great. And I think a lot of it just has to do with like it's been a year, so people are a little bit less hinged.
No, I get that. And it's been really fun watching, like, especially newer players like Rax and DM going through the gauntlet as well and seeing that, like, side of the journey. So that's been super fun.
Yeah, or like Lance, or like
Yeah.
honestly, like I think there's been probably a lot of HC players were like pressurizing the situation a little bit, while also trying to completely depressurize the situation, right? Because it's like such a hard event. Whereas I think for a lot of people like starting fresh, this was like it was just a really drastic change from core game, and I think that was really good in terms of like the mod list for like a softcore player or something,
Hmm.
Yeah. How far are you right now?
Me? I'm
Yeah.
in Act 5 with like 2k HP.
Do you feel safe with TK?
Oh, I feel very safe. So I've been playing it the way I wanted to play. I've only had 7 hours to play, I think, and I'm in Act 5. And I like farmed out both my Magi ascendancies in Act 2. So I got that bark skin and 30% life in Act 2. So at the end of Act 2, I had 700 life or 800 life. And I'm playing Stormbound of Indecision. And yeah, I feel incredibly safe. I haven't dipped below 90% health.
Jesus. Okay. I almost died with like 2K.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it's also, with Stormbrand, it's so like, I can run around. So killing like Dodri, Malachi, everything was very, very easy. But yeah.
Fair enough.
How did you like the campaign, and what did you think of the Oasis idea?
It's weird. I think it's nice when I really like the idea of progression being different for every event, and it's really hard to do that. And I think this is interesting in that way, right? Because it's like, I think my Gauntlet plan, even if I was to play Cremation, was not actually like close to something that's ironed out. Like when I go back and think about what I wanted to do, I would have liked to have like 2 less stages, but instead I probably spent an extra like 120 on makings. And a lot of that just comes from like this Oasis idea this time, right? Like you have such a luxury with unmaking, so I didn't have to plan out. So I think as long as like progression is different each gauntlet, that makes it really interesting from like a player perspective. But you won't see a lot of people like. I guess I don't think my sense that a lot of people won't appreciate that in a sense because like they're just seeing like, oh well, now he's doing this, or like, oh this is a different white map, or like, wow, white map day 4, white map day 5. But I think as long as it's different, then I think that's really healthy.
I do have an interesting idea that I am going to want to run by all the racers and see how you feel. And I was mentioning it on the Cast of Steel yesterday, was the idea of having the Oasis be in red maps next time, where maybe tier 11 to 15, or maybe 16 as well, would be relatively safe, and then bosses are even more fucked.
I think it depends on like what it looks like in a sense, like, or like what danger looks like. But I think that's like Archnam, which is probably the last time we had like a real messed up gauntlet in terms of like there was no safety, right? It was a lot of like open eyes mapping. I wonder if that could exist again, even.
Yeah.
Just because
maybe.
of like the things that we have now, like
So,
defensively, it's
we have heard that Ben said he's going in. So we might have to cut this a little bit short, but we probably will interview you again the last day as well, if you're up for that. And thank you so much for joining for an interview. Steele, do you have any last questions?
I'm your biggest fan. I love you. I hope you win. You did super well. GG. Jung, run for president.
Yeah, give me the Stormbound POV next time. Right? You gotta tell me you got a sick build to clear with, and then be like, oh yeah, with a secret, I'm not playing though. XD chat.
XDD. Steele has actually cleared the gauntlet while casting on his ult.
Holy.
No shot.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jung, and congratulations on an insane performance as always. And thank you for always bringing like really cool builds and stuff to the gauntlet.
Yeah, appreciate the environment, man. It's fucking sick. Can't wait to watch this though. This is gonna be badass.
Yeah, let's watch it. Thanks, dude.